we are looking at the same soap that I used a few days ago. I had technical issues with my phone, and then I fell asleep, and then a couple hours later I trying to finish up the video, clearly really groggy. It was just hilarious. But I couldn't help coming back to this soap because it was very interesting when I used it. Starts off very approachable, very a little interesting, but not all that interesting, very usable, pleasant, enjoyable, that sort of thing. And then during the difficulties, as I stood around waiting for videos to delete on my phone, so to make up room to continue to record, I started noticing some really interesting stuff. That plain stuff melted away, and the tonka bean and the musk and the amorous wood really kind of came out to play, and some of the other things that I wasn't enjoying a whole lot that I smelled in the beginning. Some of those things went away, and so this could be a really great example of a scent profile in the soap that matures and develops and transforms during the shave. Take you along a path, that sort of thing. Very interesting. So let's see if we can get that to happen again today with Southern Witchcrafts Anthropophagy. I have already scooped a 1/4 teaspoon out into my measuring spoon. I will pull out the feather blade from the pack. This looks like it'll be the 6th shave, and I'll put it in this Rocnel razor, and it is the mild version. Love this handle. Beefy, grippy, heavy, but not overly so, to me at least. So I'm still kind of evaluating this razor. I'm not really impressed with the workmanship. It seems kind of like some basic workmanship is what we're dealing with here. Nice workmanship, but just kind of a basic design that didn't take a whole lot of effort to do. But if it shaves you really well, then who cares, right? So anyway, we'll see. And I'm going to put another use. I only brought 2 brushes with me on this trip. The other one was the Badger that I used yesterday. Wonderful big soft brush. And this is the other one because I thought, hey, let's put another couple of uses on this guy. This is the Semogue Owners Club with the Taj handle. It is a boar brush that uses their special grade of boar hair. And we will load up the razor with the blade first. And here's that construction issue that I was talking about. You can use some little grinding bits, the CNC machine, to hog off that, and you see these are rounded on both ends, so you could use a milling machine to get in there and then go to like that. And then see those grooves? Those are just circles. You use a drilling machine to come in from there, and you can make kind of this whole thing with just some kind of basic basic moves, basic operations. And so to me, it just gives me a feeling that a perception that it's not quite as professionally done. There are also some edges that maybe could be refined, but anyway, it shaves pretty well. I've been happy with the experience. I think I've used it twice. So we're going to put a feather in it. We'll see how feather works. Sometimes a feather will make a razor act, for me at least, make a razor act much more touchy. Where you have to be more careful. Sometimes it's not quite as smooth as other blades. Often I do walk away with a wonderful close shave though. So let's just see how everything goes today. One thing it's got going for it is nice alignment every time it's correct. And now I will pause you while I press that amount of soap around in the bottom of my lather bowl, and I will give my face a splash of water. All right. My 3D printed lather bowl plans are in the link in the description of the video if you're interested. All right. Let us take It's been soaking for about 10 minutes now, so that should be plenty of time to get those bristles saturated with water. And we will start working on it. So the notes in this scent, we've got tonka bean, musk, lavender, cotton, amyris, and hedione. Hedione. I don't know if that's the way to pronounce it or not. The hedione is a jasmine, similar to a jasmine type scent. The amyris wood is that the one that's kind of sandalwoody? Let me check and see what the next page. Yeah, I believe the amyris is a woody note. That's a West Indies type of scent. That's the kind of the sandalwood that the West Indies is kind of able to put together. And I had some, with the technical issues I had last time, I showed a lot of the early part of the video, but then what happens is my phone will, when it runs out of space, it switches over to the chip on the phone instead of, the internal memory instead of the chip. But then it stopped recording for some reason. But I didn't know that it stopped recording. And so that's one of the main problems. All right, so I'm going to start adding water now that we've kind of worked it up a little bit. Like a dummy, I forgot to note and look at the water I used last time. Let's lower you guys down. Hey, with my new device, I can raise and lower you a lot easier than before. Used to be I had fashioned a wire coat hanger as a bracket that I hung from a pin in the wall. Couldn't move it around very much without risking dropping everything. And this lather is looking great. Oh, hey, I wrote it down on my little scent description. I had 3.5 teaspoons, and it was a little bit on the dry side. Okay, so now I've got 3 in there. Now, just because I had that much on a previous shave doesn't mean it's going to be exact, but it might be able to help me get to the approximate level quicker. So I went ahead and put in more water than I might normally to get there sooner. Yeah, it's looking great. Notice the texture, you'll see it change. Look at all those little valleys and hills and peaks. As you add more water, those will start to settle down, get softer. A couple of you commented on the video for this soap a few days ago. I appreciate you saying that it was still a helpful video, even though it was a little weird. And see, this is just pillowy, wonderful. And we will keep adding. Let's just try 4. If 3.5 last time was a little too dry, why don't we try 4 this time, since we were at 3 just a second ago, and it still looks like it looked like it would be fine if I added more. So what am I picking up? I'm picking up a little bit of the jasmine, the hedione, a little bit of the cotton. You know, the lavender that's in there is not really jumping out in a big way. I think I can smell it. The tonka is staying back for now. The top notes really must be kind of shadowing it a little bit, causing it to be in the shadow. The musk is also kind of in the background here. Look at that, plenty of lather from the 1/4 teaspoon. Now, take a look at the texture now. You see how, and I rotate it just so that you can see the shadows and maybe have a better understanding of how the texture looks. See, there's less peaks and hills and valleys, and things are more smoothed out. Those visual cues will help you know when to stop adding water as you learn where you like to have your lather. Just a wonderful soap base here. Feels so good. There's a light creaminess to it, and it is a slight oily, slight silky feel to it, and that's remarkable for a vegan soap. Yeah, it's laying down a really nice layer on my skin of protection. It doesn't feel too dry at all, so let's go with this. I mean, it could possibly even take a little bit more water, but let's kind of try to keep it more in the realm of creamy, just for grins. All right, I'm gonna splash my face and then we'll lather up. All right. Feels terrific. You can pull the brush kind of along your face and watch the texture to learn some things about where the water is in the soap, or how hydrated your soap is, your lather is. If you kind of make a stroke and then you get things that kind of look like craters, that tells you maybe you're on the little dry end of the spectrum, perhaps. And depending on the look of the craters, the depth of the craters, like a pockmarked face, like somebody's had a bad acne problem, if you don't see any of those, but it's all smooth, or you have these little farm rows that kind of look like that aren't clumpy, then sometimes that means you're right in a sweet spot, or that's something to look for. And then if you just see like zero clumps at all, then maybe you're heading toward a really hydrated lather, and if that's what you want, then that might be where you want to stop. Now this one is on the creamy side, so I might say it's on the dry side of perfect. Let's just shave with it and see what happens. I am seeing a few of the pock marks, so let's just see. I've got plenty of lather, and as I leave a little bit of water on my face after each rinse, after the first and second passes, then the lather will start to hydrate more, so it'll get even better. All right, just kind of soaking it in right now. 4 out of 10 in terms of scent strength. Very pleasant, very approachable. Nothing mysterious about this scent right now. All right. Well, first go with a feather right now is a very good, favorable feel. It's not very vocal. despite the fact that this razor does not give a whole lot of support under the blade. It's a little vocal. And so that's why I'm still continuing to kind of enjoy it and test it out. Also, you can look at the soap under your razor as you're kind of doing what I've done. You've done some of your face. Look at this lather under your razor. Look at the layers. Do they make hills and valleys between each layer? Is it really distinctive? If so, maybe that's too dry, or if you like it a little dry, then that might be perfect for you. If it's all one blob, if it's all dripping, of course that's going to tell you something about the hydration as well. Right now you see this isn't going anywhere, and so it's got some structure to it. So that tells you something to, oh, look right here. You see all those little waves right there, the hills and valleys? See, that's kind of something to look for in the texture. And then that will tell you how hydrated your soap is. And so if you see that same texture each time, you're likely becoming very consistent with your water, with your hydration of your lather. If you see those same traits each time, whichever trait it is, whether it's drippy, whether it's dry enough to really stay on there and give you plenty of layers, the appearance of layers, you know. All right. And, oh, I've still got some shaving to do. As you can see, I'm not holding it super firmly. And where's my grip? My grip's in the middle, and so I'm never able to bear down really hard on my skin because the razor can move. It's gently gliding over my skin. And that is the way I prefer to shave. I've definitely watched some YouTubers, and you can tell they're not doing that because you can watch their skin move. And you can see if their skin moves a severe amount, then you know that they're kind of putting a good bit of pressure on themselves. And if that's the way they like to shave, there's nothing wrong with that. But when, think about a kid on a trampoline. A light kid represents a person having very low pressure. A heavy kid, you'll see more bow. Okay, and so that's average pressure or heavy pressure. And that bow will cause a little, at the bottom of course, because the material of your skin will have a little round space at the bottom. And when the blade is near that round space, as that shape of the bow will move along as your razor makes your skin bow as you move it, if you're pressing too hard. If you're pressing too hard, then that bow will move the skin a little bit away from your razor head, away from your the blade. Because let's say here's the safety bar, blade, top cap. And so here's the bow that this safety bar is creating. Now, if your skin's more flat and you have a lighter touch, then this blade here is closer to your skin. Maybe that's the secret to using mild razors successfully, is that light touch that doesn't cause your skin to bow as much. Heavy touch, lighter touch, super light touch. These things seem really obvious to me. They seem very logical. I have no, of course, experimental proof, but that seems like a very good guess as to what could be going on. Okay, and rinse. There we go, and yes, I had a wonderful creamy rinse, had an excellent feel to it, and now I'm kind of poking my brush down in the lather to shove that lather up between the bristles. Lather looks terrific still. Yeah, see, okay, I'm starting to pick up the musk more now. And the woodiness. A little bit of the cotton. I really like this scent. I like what it's doing. It's sneaky. It comes in all pretty and pleasant. unassuming, and then it's like it takes off its Sunday clothes to reveal a leather jacket, you know, and the musk, the lavender is still soft. If there, I think I can pick it up. The cotton is actually coming up too, which adds some interest. The musk and the tonka bean is also kind of soft in the background. The jasmine, the florals, either my nose has gotten used to them or they have faded. The effect is the same. I'm not really picking them up very much. And that the woodiness, the woodiness and the musk are starting to, you know, okay, maybe a leather jacket's not there, but maybe it's the lumberjack or something like that, you know. That just makes this really, it's a story. It's an unfolding thing. I think that's just excellent. Excellent. And knowing those guys at Southern Witchcrafts, Courtney is the one who is responsible mostly for the soap generation, is what Stephen has told me. And so I just believe that this is very similar to, this is a plan. This is a purposeful thing that she put together. I don't think this happened by accident. You know, I'm just sure that that this is something that she designed on purpose. Again, light touch as we do the second pass, and since my hair right here grows from top to bottom, then this type of stroke is a cross-grained stroke for me, and very comfortable. I did feel the blade a little bit, though it was still comfortable on that first pass. Right now, I barely, oh guys, I just got this whiff of that musk. See, it wasn't there in the beginning of the shave. And now it's there. It's terrific. It's almost like a dynamic soap. It's a living experience. Very interesting. And I'm really happy with the way this is handling the feather. It's controlling it really well. It's not letting it get crazy. It's not edgy. It doesn't feel scrapey, which is sometimes what the feather can feel like in other razors. Really happy with the match here. So, and this is the mild version of this model. And it doesn't feel like, it's not a super smooth on that first pass. It wasn't super smooth like maybe a Fatip Testina Gentile or the Deluxe, a vintage Gillette razor, or like a Carve A or B solid bar, like the Timeless 68 scalloped or solid bar. Those are all just super smooth razors, and this is not like that, even though it says mild. However, it's handling the feather really well right now. I am feeling a little bit of the blade, but it's that wonderful getting shaven feeling. Not like there's no insecurity, there's no worry that the blade is going to nick me or anything like that. It's handling it really nicely. I'm so glad for that little glitch the other day that caused me to delay. It's possible I would have zoomed right past this scent journey that this soap has taken me on. You know what it smells like? It smells like, or what feels like it's happening is that I have a nice, clean, kind of pleasant, enjoyable soap. And then on that second pass, as I told you, it was changing and the musk and the woodiness was starting to become more evident. That's almost like I finished shaving and I just splashed on some manly aftershave. You know, that's kind of what it reminds me of. Something else it reminds me of. Third pass, I will go ahead and repeat the cross grain on my cheeks. That gives me a nice close shave. Then this third pass, I'll do just a little bit of tugging. And I gotta wash it down here because sometimes I'll soap up an area that I shouldn't shave because it's on my neck and it doesn't have any hair on it. Oh yeah, see, it's very in control of this feather blade. And my skin has felt terrific in the rinses, luxurious, creamy feeling during the rinses, really happy with the performance of the base. Right now, the smoothness of my skin, it's silky feeling. It's terrific. That's just this soap base right here. It's a great base. Comparing it to tallow or vegan soaps, just doesn't. It can compete anywhere. Wonderful, wonderful feel. Terrific. Right now, I believe I'm picking up some of the cotton, along with that musk and the woodiness. The tonka bean still, I was wondering if it would come in a little stronger, but it hasn't been. And because of that cotton, you know what it's making me think of? I just bought recently a cologne, Jeffrey Beene, inexpensive colognes there, EDTs. And I picked up Grey Flannel because I liked his bowling green a lot. And I was reading online and somebody said, oh, I love bowling green. Make sure you check out Grey Flannel. And it's relatively inexpensive for a ton of it. And so I went ahead and ordered some. And it's a little powdery for me. I could see how maybe it might be a little on the feminine side, perhaps, unless I picture myself having just in a cabin with some really warm clothes on and just relaxing, by a fire or something like that. And it takes me to pretty cool places, and so there's a mental aspect to that scent as well. But I think because of it shares those cotton notes or something similar to that. And so I'll bet following a shave of this soap up with that scent is probably going to be a nice match. Man, my face just feels so good. And what I love is I didn't have to scoop out any more than an average amount of soap. That was a 1/4 teaspoon or a hair less, which is a very common amount for many soap makers. They've put in good stuff for your skin and good stuff for the slickness of the shave. Both of them tremendous, and it's a economical use of soap. I'm not having to use tons to get those nice properties. So I'm really happy about that. And I've done 3 passes. And we have plenty. See, now look at that hydration. Do you see that? That's what kind of hydration we're talking about here. Look how elastic it is. It held together and then it just immediately collapsed. That's this wonderful dichotomy of having plenty of water in it, but still being creamy. And to me, those are the soaps that I really enjoy that do that well. And I've got plenty. 2 or 3 passes right here. Plenty. Economical as well. Economical in terms of the usage, not necessarily the price. But it's a good price. It's not. It used to be even better when it was their previous formula. But I can see why. But they put some more nice ingredients in it, so they had to raise their price a little bit. All right, well, man, so many things went well in today's shave. Number 1, I didn't fall asleep in the middle of the shave. Seriously, the Rocnel handled the feather really, really well. That's a great match. I really enjoyed that. And the soap, I've been raving about that. I don't need to repeat that. The soap base, marvelous, and the scent. Just taking me on trips, and I kind of don't even feel like I need an aftershave. I kind of feel like I want to get one. I want to get Anthropophagy to have that. Just tremendous. Really happy with the scent of the soap, the feel of the brush, knowing that I'm stepping a little bit closer to that softness, the future softness of this boar, because it's going to need some more uses. Really happy. I think we're maybe 7 uses away from it eclipsing my most used by me boar brush. So we are marching along. All right, guys. Well, take care, and I will clean up. I don't know if I'll have any final thoughts, but there we go. I really feel sorry for the people who just have never felt a boar brush that's this soft, and this guy is not old. He is still young. He definitely has a good many tips that haven't split yet, but still the softness is tremendous. You're not getting a whole lot of scent from the brush after that shave, for whatever reason. It's not staying very resident on my face, so it is kind of rinsing away. So then it's not going to be confusing with and clashing with any aftershave product that you want. It seems like you could follow it up with anything. And the dichotomy here of this razor is that I do like the craftsmanship of the handle. It's not uber top notch. This knurling here could be maybe a little better, but the fact that it's not quite finished off does give you tons of grip. It's secure grip. And it's comfortable. It's not too abrasive to your skin at all. And the rest of it looks very good quality. So I'm really happy with that fit and finish. Like I told you before, the design and the craftsmanship on this head seems maybe a little simplistic, but it works. The shave I just got was wonderful. No nicks, no razor burn, nothing. So there's the dichotomy. A little too simplistic, but gets the job done really well. May not be as pretty to look at as some of the other ones out there in terms of the head. And so then I might evaluate it a little bit lower in the price point than what you can get it for. But I'm really happy with it. The way you tell if it's the S50, it says right there, and on this end it says M for mild. And then you do have writing on the bottom. It talks about the 316L for the stainless steel. It says the Rocnel brand, Elite Series. It tells you the year. This is the 2019 model. Oh, and it says Turkey. Okay, well, it was made in Turkey. There we go. How about that? I think it's related to Bull Goose. I think the bullgoose.com must have contracted out and, been involved in the creation of the razor, perhaps. So, craftsmanship, perception of skill of craftsmanship for the head, not super high, but high. Comfort, shaveability, taming of the feather, really high. Very favorable, and why I keep using it and trying it out. I was looking around for a balm or something to put on, and I forgot to bring it down. And I can still smell. I can still smell a little bit of the soap around me, so I don't feel lacking in that. That's just terrific. I love the way it changes. I love the way it doesn't end the way it's saying the same way it starts out. I love the way there's a couple of different ways of putting together scents that I like. It's almost like starting with a barbershop, something clean and traditional, and then ending with something masculine and burly, but that cotton kind of brings it back and adds a little bit of warmth and character to it. Complexity. It's not all, it doesn't turn from Seville to Midnight Stag, that sort of thing. And I find it very interesting. Really happy I gave this one another shot. I really feel like I need to buy a full tub of that, or keep my eye out on a used one where I can buy a partial tub and then use it for a nice long time. All right. Well, Stephen and Courtney, amazing job on this scent. Really, really, really nice job. And I think that's it for me today. I'll probably go up and who knows, I may not put on any kind of aftershave product after this. Just enjoy the faint remnants of the Anthropophagy on my face. All right, guys, take care. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves, and I sure hope that you got something from this video. Sabo, he was looking forward to a shave with Southern Witchcrafts, and I'm glad to bring a more complete shave with this wonderful scent, especially for fans like him of Southern Witchcrafts to enjoy. Guys, have a good night. Bye.